What is Christmas magic, and how does the magic of Christmas actually work? How do reindeer fly? Why does Santa's sleigh not fall out of the sky? And what about Santa's magical gift sack? How does he get down the chimney? All of these questions and more answered in today's super festive, magical, real-world magic video. All of that coming up after this. Hello and welcome back to Real World Magic, where we make your life more magical. My name is Neil Trigger, I'm going to be your magical host, and in today's video I'm talking about the magic of Christmas. Please bear in mind that I do not believe in God or Christ. This video, like the channel as a whole, is about magic, and we love magic. So let's start by explaining what magic is, and then we can look at each of the elements of Christmas magic and just have some fun with it. When I was about 4, I guess, I remember going to the cinema with my mum and dad. That's pretty young to go to the cinema or the movies, and it's definitely the earliest memory of the movies that I have. But it was to see Santa Claus the movie, you know, the one with Dudley Moore and John Lithgow, the film that stars the real Santa Claus. Yeah, not me. I'm going to take that down because I'm getting a bit too hot. Well, I remember when that sleigh took off, with the silvery sparkle trail it left behind. It was magic, and I was in love with magic. Absolutely besotted with it, and I still am. From the very first second where Granny was talking to little Elsa in the snow, Elsa? Interesting. About the Vindicum, to the very last moment where Joe gets to do the super duper looper in Santa's sleigh, which was a bit unnecessary in my adult opinion. And he then gets the girl. I loved it all. I hated John Lithgow ever since. Probably nothing personal, I'm sure. So, the magic of Christmas. Shall we just start with why people are nice at this time of year? Last year at Christmas, I recorded this video up here. It's not very high quality, and I'm sorry about that. I kind of cringe every time I watch it back, but it covers the idea that people are Christmassy at Christmas, which is pretty obvious, really. People do wear silly hats, earrings or jumpers, coats, slippers, scarves, you name it, they wear it. Now this year, for obvious reasons, people aren't really enjoying going out and about, and the fun that comes from total strangers commenting on your deliberately ugly Christmas sweater isn't there either. It's unfortunate because lots of Christmas markets and fairs and all of that sort of stuff just cancelled. Christmas parties are now held on Zoom. Now, I don't have any empirical evidence to back this up, but it does seem to me that the Christmas spirit is taking a bit of a kick in the nuts right now. So stay tuned and I'll try to give it a boost at the end of this video. Deal? Okay, what do I mean about the Christmas spirit being lacking? Well, I asked my colleagues at work recently, yes, I still do have a real job, and they told me that they're not really in the Christmas mood. And they don't want to participate in a Secret Santa that I was trying to organise because, frankly, they're just not feeling Christmassy enough, and that is so sad. To me, that's all the more reason to be doing it. To me, the magic of Christmas comes from small acts of kindness and silly acts of silliness. Communal acts of community and a mixture of all of these things come together to form what Christmas is to me. That's what Christmas means to me, my dear. Isn't that a song? But I do get it. Why do you think that people during a pandemic don't feel Christmassy? It's pretty obvious. Well, in my video that I released last year, and sorry about the sound quality by the way, it really is pants, I spoke about rapport and how that sense of connection with others in a shared goal, to have fun, led to a global sense of happiness and a global sense of Christmassiness, I suppose. Is that a word? This year, what with lockdowns, travel restrictions, closed businesses, financial ruin for many, and frankly a lack of things to look forward to, places to go, things to do, friends to see, and so on, the entire world is going to be on a bit of a downer. So that's the Christmas spirit. Yes, we're all feeling pants in the middle of a global pandemic, hardly a surprise. But what about flying reindeer, and how does that actually work? Well, it's pretty simple really, so let's do some maths. And okay, don't panic, I'll do the maths. You just sit and watch, and trust me, this is a bit of fun. Santa has 8 reindeer: Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner and Blitzen, and I could do that without the autocue because I'm a Christmassy kind of guy. He's also got Rudolph, of course, and let's assume that somewhere in the world it might be foggy because he's got to cover the whole Earth. So that does kind of make sense, I reckon. Now, assuming the kids who celebrate Christmas are not all Christian, after all, my kids don't believe in God, but they do love Christmas, then Santa has to go to around 2 billion children. And I know they're not evenly spaced around the world either, so assuming large population densities and large areas like oceans and deserts with no people in them, we can calculate very roughly that a sleigh carrying enough gifts for 2 billion children travels at an average speed of just over 5 million kilometers per hour. Now, that is quick. Not as fast as a Tesla in insane mode or whatever they call it. Actually, no, it is quicker than that. Yeah, that's false advertising. So it is quick, but nowhere near as fast as the speed of light. Let's also remember that time slows down as the speed of light approaches, and so Santa could afford a bit of a benefit from that too, but really not very much. Nevertheless, going from a complete stop to full speed in order to get to every child, his sleigh would suffer from tremendous strain too. Now, there is a very famous article containing all the maths in much more detail, and I'll see if I can link it down in the description. Look for it. If it's not there, I just couldn't find it, so I'm sorry about that. But for now, we need to consider the weight of the sleigh and the formula regarding energy and work done. Since work done equals mass multiplied by the distance travelled, and I remember that from my GCSEs, and I know that the mass would be a sigma calculation based on decreasing mass because the presents would be delivered. Nevertheless, the sleigh would still weigh about the same as a gigantic cruise ship, just because of the space required, even if it wasn't laden with presents, which would be decreasing every time they deliver one. Hopefully that makes sense. Even if Santa only had one gift per child weighing about a pound in weight, that's a pound in weight including wrapping paper. Now, for 8 reindeer to foot that burden is bonkers. So we'd need some magic to provide an undetectable extension charm to Santa's sack, like Hermione did to her bag. We'd also need to provide the reindeer with good strong shoes because of the phenomenal distances they travel. Then you'd need to reinforce the sleigh and provide heat shielding to the reindeer, because accelerating from a dead stop to over 5 million kilometers per hour in a fraction of a second and then stopping again would heat up the reindeer due to wind resistance. This would then cause excess energy dissipation needs in the region of quintillions of joules of energy. We know that by accelerating any reindeer from 0 to the speed necessary to deliver the presents to every Christmas celebrating child's house in the world during the 36 hours of Christmas that Santa has to play with because of the rotation of the Earth, that's dangerous. So the breeding of special reindeer might be a good idea too. Let's not forget that Santa is an anagram of Satan, a fact that people use to exploit the myths of Krampus, a demonic version of Santa who, rather than bringing coal to punish the kiddies, takes their souls instead. Krampus was the son of Hel, that's Hel with one L by the way. Hel was the Norse goddess of the underworld, in a similar way to Hades. In Germany, where it is thought to have originated as a Christmas myth, Krampen means claw. So Krampus is the clawed half-demon companion of Santa Claus, or Sinterklaas, whose job it is to punish naughty children. That's Krampus, not Santa. So punish and reward Santa and Krampus. Germany does tend to have pretty dark myths and legends, like the original Black Forest fairy tales of the Brothers Grimm. I think we got off topic there. Let's just take a look at how and why the reindeer stay in the sky. Well, flying reindeer aren't very aerodynamic, but that doesn't matter much, provided that they're moving fast enough. They could just leap. Of course, they're also girlies, because only the girl reindeer have the antlers. Interesting fun factoid. Did you know, in February 1855, after a heavy snowfall, mysterious hoof prints were discovered spanning up to 100 miles, and nobody knows where they came from. You might say it was a horse, but these became known as the Devil's Footprints because it didn't follow the typical four-legged walking pattern. It was 2 legs only. So unless the horse got up onto its hind legs and walked for 100 miles, which seems unlikely. Clearly we have a few difficulties if we were to apply this to 8 reindeer, but if there's a chance that the devil walked among us mortals, there doesn't seem any reason why reindeer can't fly. Having said that, let's apply some physics. Hooves are hard and have a fairly low surface area, so to push off with enough speed and power to launch into the air, plus the cruise ship behind them, remain airborne for enough time to reach the exact destination that you're heading to, and to do so at enough speed to visit everyone in a single night, and do all of that without leaving a hoof mark, you'd need a reindeer whose foot looked like, well, I've drawn a sketch of it. Yeah, it looks like a very, very large beanbag. I've no idea how something like that would even walk. Nevertheless, 9 reindeer routinely deliver presents to the boys and girls of the earth, and thank goodness that they do. Now let's tackle Santa's belly. The good news is here that while Santa is a very large chap, and let's not go fat shaming anyone because I too struggle with my weight, poor Santa, Santa does have science on his side, sort of. It's widely accepted that space and time can bend around large objects with enough gravity. Although Santa, being a chunky monkey, doesn't exactly qualify for gravitational lensing or significant shifts in the space-time continuum, having a large belly may provide a very, very, very tiny change. That said, increasing gravity when trying to shrink down a chimney is tricky. This is where he would need to quantum shift. In 1935, Austrian-Irish physicist Erwin Schrödinger proposed a thought experiment based on the very odd idea of quantum states and observation. Now, stay with me here because it does get weird. You'll want to stay for this bit though, I promise. Scientists have found that they can't accurately measure the position and the spin of an electron at the same time, because the fact of observing it affects the result. Yes, the act of simply looking at something's quantum state, and that's the smallest observable state, changes its state. So looking at it changes it. Weird, but true. Erwin Schrödinger proposed an experiment where a cat is placed inside a box with a decaying radioactive isotope, which acts as a switch to release a poison to kill the cat. Don't panic, it's a thought experiment. No cats were harmed in this experiment. At least I don't think they were. Schrödinger said that since the decay of the isotope is a quantum event that cannot be detected until it's observed, the act of checking that the cat is alive or dead in the sealed box would fix in space-time whether that cat was alive or dead. In fact, before the scientists opened the box, the cat would be in both states at the same time. It would be alive and dead because the isotope would have both decayed and not decayed at the same time. If you're finding this hard to understand, you are not alone. Albert Einstein himself famously wrote that this theory was nonsense and could not possibly be true. But it's never been disproven, and still holds up today as an example of the problems that stem from the quantum. The cat becomes a quantum object in the macro realm. And this is a weird idea because Santa could be a quantum object, and like Schrödinger's cat, he both exists and doesn't exist at the same time. He's both here and there and everywhere all at the same time. And if he is a quantum object, that could explain why children around the world are not allowed to see him. It could also explain how he gets to all the houses in one night, because he can be everywhere at the same time. And the cool thing about this theory is that there's nothing in science that prevents this from being true, except that keeping a quantum object as a quantum object is exceptionally hard, especially while transporting macro-level objects like presents, not to mention consuming macro-level objects like milk and cookies and still remaining in a quantum state. Of course, he could shift very rapidly in and out of quanta, but that would be very difficult, require vast amounts of energy, advanced technology, and possibly even risk the life of old Saint Nick himself. But theoretically, it's sort of possible. And given that the science backs it up, there's really only one more question to ask. Do you believe in Father Christmas? Thanks for watching. If you like this video, then give me a lovely thumbs up, which tells YouTube that it was a good video and more people should see it. I want to give a big shout out to my patrons and members. Yes, I have members now, who make this kind of video possible, and I'm also offering memberships on my channel now to you guys. Very soon you'll be seeing a join button down here, somewhere, down there. It's next to the subscribe button anyway. If you click on that, you'll find a whole host of cool perks, and you can get those all from me, and you can sign up direct from YouTube without having to go via Patreon, which I know some people don't understand, so that's fine, don't panic. I've done a video about that, and also for those of you who don't want to become members, that's totally cool. You don't have to, nothing's changing for you anyway. It's just extra stuff for people who do decide to be members. So don't worry, and in the meantime, if you do want to join these marvellous people, you can also head on over to Patreon and sign up there as well. Also, since Christmas is marching on ahead, I've got loads of Christmas ideas on my website and on my shop. Links, again, are down in the description, and I can still guarantee delivery for Christmas, but only if you buy right now. No pressure. Check out the website or shop for all of the latest products and an update on the delivery times, because I can't change this video once it's uploaded, and time marches on. I may not be able to always guarantee delivery for Christmas. At the moment I can, so you know, whatever. If you want to see some more of this kind of stuff, click that subscribe button and ding that bell. By dinging the bell, it makes sure that you won't miss any future uploads or episodes or live streams or anything, or any kind of magical awesomeness. And talking of magical awesomeness, that's it for another video. I'll be back next time with some more Christmassy goodness and magical awesomeness, but until then, as always,
Stay magical.
I'll be doing a video about that very soon. I think I already have, actually. Have I released that? I don't know, I haven't updated the script yet. What is Christmas magic, and how does the magic of Christmas actually work? I forgot to say it's Christmas. Oh, come on. This is not working. I keep on headbanging and it just doesn't seem to be working. What's going on here? Let's play with me auto cue. Right, let's get out of that. Let's try one more time. See, I've got my auto cue here. It's very exciting. This is behind the scenes stuff you never normally get to see. Ooh, hello. Right, let's try this one more time. Where's the off button? Okay, cool. Right, let's do this.
Please subscribe to Real World Magic. While you're there, click the bell button to be notified of future uploads, and have a look at all of my social stuff. Remember to donate on Patreon if you really, really liked it, and I'll see you again next week.